Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing my November TBR video. November for me is going to be my catch up on all the young adult fantasy books that you didn't read for the other part of the year that you were supposed to read month. Very catchy, I know. I did a really good job of following my TBR in October, and I really feel like I'm gonna stay on that train for November. So again, I have another really big TBR. I have a lot of books planned that I really want to read, and I think that I'm gonna get to the vast majority of them. So here we go. The number one book that I have been meaning to get to for months is Furyborn by Claire Legrand. The bare bones information that I know about it is that there is a Sun Queen and there is a Blood Queen. One of them takes place in the present and one of them takes place in the past. You get these two perspectives going back and forth. A lot of my friends have had a clear favorite between the two perspectives, so I'm interested to see which one I will like better. These two queens carry the fate of the world in their hands, and it sounds like something that I'm really gonna love, and it's a trilogy, so the second book is gonna be coming out next May, and I want to get caught up before that second book comes out because wow, do I love that cover. I thought Furyborn was such an amazing cover, and then I saw the second one, Kingsbane, and I was like, what? I'm into it. I can't wait. I've heard such great things. Next on my TBR is The Lying Woods by Ashley Elston. Her other book, This Is Our Story, is my favorite young adult thriller ever. I loved it so much, and I'm so excited to read Ashley's next book. This one sounds like it's going to be just as interesting. Follows a young boy named Owen. Owen goes to a private school, and then one day his mom comes and has to pull him out of school, and he learns that all of the funds that he's been living this crazy rich person lifestyle on have actually been stolen. So his dad owns a huge business in, I believe it's Louisiana, and he's just been embezzling everyone's money, and it's not so good. So Owen actually has to return to that small town and finish out his senior year going to a high school full of people that hate him for something that his father did. And his father has just completely vanished, so Owen and his mom are the ones that are left dealing with this fallout, and it just sounds like it's gonna be so good. I seriously just love Ashley's other book, and I really think that I'm gonna love this one too. And she is so blessed by the cover gods. I know this isn't a cover video, I keep talking about covers, but I think that this is so beautiful. And then I love that the tree has two shadows of people, and I can't wait to find out what's going on there. Third on my TBR is a book that was one of my most anticipated books of the entire year, and I still haven't read it, and that is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. I freaking love this series so much. I can't even tell you how many copies I own of An Ember in the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night. I really love this series, and I don't know why I haven't read Reaper yet, but that is my number one top priority. I really just need to know how the story is going to continue, and Sabaa Tahir actually did a series of catch-up videos on YouTube for each of the characters, so I think I'm gonna read those before I dive into Reaper, just to make sure that I'm up to date in my mind. I cannot wait to read this. Next on my list is Kingdom of the Blazing Phoenix by Julie C. Dow. This is the second book after Forest of a Thousand Lanterns, and that is a book that I truly loved. And Julie is actually having an event in New York City at Books of Wonder on November 6th. So I really want to read this book before that event, so I will be able to discuss it with her while I'm there. One of my other friends already read this one, and she said that she loved it even more than she loved Forest of a Thousand Lanterns, and I really loved that book. That bodes well for how I'm gonna feel about this one. It's a companion series, so this one actually follows the Snow White character as opposed to the evil queen that was followed within the first book, and it is an Asian-inspired fantasy, and the writing and everything was just so lush and so immersive, and I cannot wait for this second book. Next, I would like to read Archenemies by Marissa Meyer. This is the next book after Renegades, so as you can see, there's a lot of sci-fi fantasy series within this video. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's gonna happen with Nova and crew. The end of this first book was a huge cliffhanger and really left you wanting the second one, so I am anxious to dive into this. Actually, I keep talking about covers, but I really like this cover more than I liked the first one. I'm just curious how Adrian and his faction of heroes is going to handle everything. The next next book on my TBR is gonna make a lot of people very happy, and that is Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. I have never read the Grisha trilogy in its entirety. I love Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, but I just never finished the Grisha trilogy. I only read the first book. The Nikolai book, King of Scars, is coming out in January, so I decided that I want to read Siege and Storm in November, and then I'm gonna finish the trilogy, read Ruin and Rising in December. That way I can read King of Scars when it gets released. So I'm very, very much looking forward to this. I'm gonna have to do a little refresher on everything that happened within the first book. I'm pretty excited to do this. I think it's gonna be good. Next on my list is Little White Lies by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I felt like this would be a really good read for like around Thanksgiving time. It's a thriller, so it's something quick paced that I'll be able to like go in and out of when I have lots of family stuff going on. And then it also takes place in the South, and there's like a debutante ball, and it just sounds like something that I'm gonna love. So it follows a girl named Sawyer who is a mechanic, and then her estranged grandmother shows up, and she finds out that there is this whole other world that she is technically a part of that is very different from her own, and it sounds like something that I'm gonna love. Next on my list is Effortless by Sarah Holland. This is the first book in a fantasy series, and it came out in January, and the second one actually comes out in December, and I'm always just like astounded when authors release 2 books in the same series in 1 year. Like, how do they do it? And the most interesting thing about this series, in my opinion, is that it plays with the concept of time. The people who are the most wealthy within the society are able to exchange coins for time, and it follows a girl who is going back to, or her and her father used to like be in the palace, and then they got kicked out for some reason, and she's returning there because she needs to get time for her father. And there's a royal wedding that's about to happen, and I've heard from a couple friends that it was pretty good, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. And then the final book on my TBR is Grimm Leaves by Megan Shepherd. This one I'm so excited to read. It takes place in Paris, and it follows a beastie named Anouk who is enchanted into human form using dark magic from her mistress, and then her mistress is murdered, and she only has 3 days before she will turn back into a beastie, and she really wants to keep her human form. So her and some other people who have been enchanted need to like go and find a spell that will be able to keep them as humans. And as they venture out into Paris, like beyond their world as servants for these terrible witches, pretty much, they learn that they are much stronger and much more capable of certain things, and I can't wait. Like I said, I just am so drawn to the Paris element. I cannot wait to like be there in my mind. So those are all of the books that I have on my November TBR. I would not be surprised if there are a couple of other things that I left out that I also want to read, but these are like my main staple. That was not like a great sentence, but whatever, we'll just go with it. Let me know what you're planning on reading. Let me know if you've read anything that I mentioned, or if you're excited for me to read anything I mentioned. The Grisha trilogy. Anyway, that is all that I have for this video, and I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!